Loving, wonderful person who adored children. She's a grandmother. She has 2 grandchildren. We thought that there could be no more perfect person in the world.
Watching the video, she was like Jekyll and Hyde. Nothing in the world gives her the right, no matter what he does.
Stand up here! Stand up here! Stand up here, I said. Stand up!
Disturbing, shocking pictures there from Nannies from Hell, which you can see more of tonight, 9 o'clock ITV. Now let's go to our lead studio. Joining me there, Marilyn and Graham Stowe, who discovered their nanny was plotting to harm their baby boy. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
How did you find this out?
I was concerned about her behaviour generally, and one night when we'd been out for dinner and I was unable, I felt very uneasy about her. I came home and saw her diary next to the carry cot where my son was sleeping, and I looked in it and I expected to find that she probably didn't like me, but instead I found out that she appeared to be rather mentally ill.
Mm. What sort of things did she write, Graham?
She wrote bizarre accounts of what was happening. She wrote most offensive remarks about the family, and that was for somebody who'd been there for a very short duration of time, with whom we'd had no crosswords ever. And the content was so horrific, we realised that there was a major problem on our hands.
But what sort of things are we talking about here?
Offensive remarks about what she thought about us and about our child and about basically what she'd like to do.
But what she would like to do, she wrote about these actions, but did she ever actually harm Ben?
No, not at all. I think we nipped it very nicely in the bud.
Well, Marilyn, all this is well and good, but don't nannies have rights too? I mean, what gave you the right to invade her privacy? Marilyn?
Can you hear Marilyn?
Hello, Marilyn.
I'm sorry, I can't hear very well.
Sorry, well,
should I answer that?
If you can hear that, Graham, I mean, what do you think you invaded her privacy? And if so, what gave you the right to do that?
The actual problem arose because of mother's natural instinct. Marilyn felt there was something untoward about the conduct of this girl, even though she was full of smiles and was very pleasant. And it was when she saw the diary on the bed, she thought that she would just satisfy her own worries and have a look. And it was because of that that she saw the actual problem on that bed when she found the diary. And when it comes to the safety of a child, well, I think that has to have paramount consideration. OK, stay there, if you will. I want to now go to the studio. This business about spying on nannies isn't just an American trend. It's spreading across Britain. In the studio with me now, a private detective who installs spy cameras in people's homes. Good morning to you. You want to keep your identity a secret because of the job that you do. Well, what sort of demand is there for this?
Well, there's quite a large demand, not so much on the spy cameras side, but more pre-employment screening for the nannies before it gets to the stage of importing these spy cameras and placing them in people's homes, placing them in play areas where the kids are spending a lot of time with the nannies. So, yes, it has taken off.
So how much would it cost to install a surveillance kit, and do you think that turns out to be a good investment?
It really depends what we're looking to achieve. There's 2 types of cruelty. I mean, we've got one type of cruelty whereby the nanny's physically beating the child, which luckily doesn't seem to be that commonplace. But of course, there's the mental cruelty. There's the shouting and screaming at the child, and you know, getting fed up with the child crying throughout the day, and that's another type of cruelty altogether. And we have 2 types of stuff that we put in at MC Investigations. One is an audio recording system, which will obviously record the conversations that the nanny has with the children. That's sometimes more beneficial than the cameras that we might put in, which monitor a certain area within the house.
Right. Do you think there is at all a case for the nanny being told that these surveillance systems exist and are in operation?
I suppose there's arguments either way. I think that if the nanny's bona fide, then really at the end of the day, there's no case to tell her because she shouldn't be misbehaving.
OK, thank you very much indeed. We'll go back to Leeds now, to Marilyn and Graham. You have lived through this. You have had a very bad, a very shocking experience with this nanny and what she wrote in her diary about you and your little boy, Ben. Would you now, would you hire a nanny again, first of all?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We hired some girls after that. Each one stayed about a year, and they were excellent. I think what happened to us with this girl was very unusual, very rare. But I do think that parents, when hiring a nanny, should consider asking her to obtain from her GP a report which confirms that she's physically and mentally able to look after a child.
Okay, and Graham, would you ever consider putting in surveillance cameras, spy cameras, as we will see on this programme tonight?
Marilyn's cringing because her view is no. My view is yes. I think they're an excellent idea. We have this facility with these cameras, and I can see no reason at all why they can't be used. If anybody objects, the obvious question is, why are you objecting?
But you would tell the nanny in the first place that they were installed?
I would tell them, of course.
Okay. Marilyn and Graham Stowe, thank you for telling us your story this morning.
Thank you.
It's 18 minutes past 7 on this Wednesday morning. Nannies from Hell, ITV tonight, 9 o'clock.
And these are the top stories.